Yeah. Yeah.
Acknowledge me.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Acknowledge me.
It worked.
We are finally live. We are finally live. This doggone technical support, Streamlabs. We went from OBS to Streamlabs, and Streamlabs was doing good. Then when we started, it was just like, nope.
Bruh.
So long story short, I just had to restart the whole thing, and then it came right on. No issues.
Well, I'll be
Like,
damned.
yeah, it's just like it wasn't even on long, bro. Anyway, man, how's your day going?
Doing all right. Yourself?
Doing good. Hold on, now it's saying Twitch needs more permission. Look, I already authorized everything. Twitch, I better be live on Twitch. Okay, it looks like we're live now.
We are good. I see us on Twitch. So
Okay, so
okay so far.
golly, I want to do Facebook Live and all that too, but that just wasn't happening right now. So, and it probably would have worked if I would have just kept it on, but I turned it off, and I was like, I don't feel like we're just gonna do YouTube and Twitch for the folks coming in. If you come in, I don't know if you come in or not. If you do, you do. You don't, you don't. Appreciate you joining. Yeah, we are here. We got a new overlay for season 3. Let me ask my co-host how you what you think
It
about
looks good. I like it.
You like the new overlay?
It's nice. I like it.
Well, there we go. So co-host like it, so we good to go.
Heck yeah.
They were supposed to send out a tweet. I don't see that tweet, so I don't think Streamlabs did their job. So you fired Streamlabs.
Yeah, get them out of here.
Yeah, so you didn't send out the promotion tweet like I had set up, but it is what it is. It looks like they got everything else running. YouTube is running. Okay, so YouTube is running. Twitch is running. All right, we're not gonna waste time because we're 26 minutes late. So let's go ahead and play this intro, and then we're gonna break down week 2 and then recap week 3. I'm sorry, recap week 2, predict week 3, and do my mind is all over the place now. Power rankings now. So that's what we gonna do. So let's play this intro. Hopefully it plays, and let's get right to it.
It worked.
All right, Bow, there it is. We're off to a good start. Well, we're getting off to a better start. The sports intro plays, so we ain't have to worry about all that. We're moving on along. Once again, season 3. I meant to do a new overlay the last time we did a video, but just didn't have time. So this will be the new overlay for season 3. So anytime somebody wants to go back and watch what we said year 1, year 2, year 3, they'll know which one is what by the different overlays. So
I like that. Good idea.
Shout out to the people I don't know if you're at home yet. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Anyway, let's get into week 2 because I know you had a good week, and I kind of told you about your team. I told you they played Detroit pretty well. you know, I don't know if you believed or not, but they played Detroit pretty well, man. So,
Shame on me for doubting them.
well, let's get into it. The Bills take out the Dolphins 31-10. Tua goes down with another concussion, and out of all people, it was DeMar Hamlin that he connected with right in his chest, out of all places. So I know people tried to make their jokes of like, well, his chest might have all type of crazy. I was like, yeah, it's like, I can't get with the jokes. Like, I wanted to laugh and be human, but I was like, I couldn't, because we know what happened with DeMar. So that was a little too much. WWE fan Jay Cross, what's good? Appreciate y'all joining. Sorry for the late start. We had major technical issues. Like, we had to switch from OBS to Streamlabs, and Streamlabs started acting a fool. But the Bills take out the Dolphins. Tua said he's not retiring. I don't know why I don't see WWE fans comment on the actual screen. I see.
I wonder if
Jay
it's
Cross.
because just he just put
the eyes emojis.
Yeah,
I
maybe
guess.
that's why it's maybe not working.
But yeah, what's your thoughts on that game? If you have any thoughts on the Bills,
I think the big time news is Tua, obviously. I mean, you're not gonna assume that he's gonna retire on his own, at least, because he'll lose all that money.
Right.
I mean, if he's forced to retire, then that's a different story. But he's not gonna just voluntarily retire and give up all that money that he's receiving from Miami. It's going to be interesting to see what they do with the quarterback situation. I think he's going on IR, if I'm not mistaken. So he'll be out for at least a couple of weeks. I don't know if they believe in Skylar Thompson. They may want to try to go out there one of these backup quarterbacks or something that can kind of maybe take the void for Tua. I think I saw they signed Tyler Huntley, if I'm not mistaken. So that could maybe help them out. Kind of similar quarterbacks a little bit. Yeah, I don't understand Tua's thought process there, leading in with his head, especially knowing the concussions he's had a couple of years ago and how it really affected him. If I'm the Dolphins, I have him wear that little safety cap.
Yep.
I don't know if that will make much of a difference. I think saw a stat where it like decreases concussions by 30-35%, something around those lines. You see a couple of players wearing them in the NFL right now. I think if you want him to be your quarterback, you have him. It's a mandatory that he wears that every time he plays.
Yeah, that's true. WWE fan, I don't think it likes you because your comments are not coming up at all. I did a refresh and Jay Cross his second comment came up. I just don't see yours on the screen. So maybe Stream Elements know this guy is trouble. Let's just not even post his stuff on the screen for everybody to see. Cause that's like, it's not popping. I see it in the chat, but I don't see it like on the screen for whatever reason. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's Stream Elements and Stream. This is a Stream Elements link on Streamlabs. So maybe they beefing like Android and iPhone. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. That's possible.
So
that is weird.
Yeah, like it's not even showing the Stream Elements. Anytime Stream Elements post something, it's not even popping up. So yeah, I guess that's stupid. But yeah, Tua goes down again. That's really the only take besides the Dolphins just got killed, and he looked bad before he got hurt. So like,
oh, he looked horrible. Yeah,
he wasn't looking great. Like everybody was letting the jokes fly, but he wasn't looking great at all. Yeah, that's crazy. He just posted again, and I don't see nothing. Might as well just turn the chat off then if it's not gonna show for whatever reason. Let me type something. Hold on.
Yeah, I can do it. See.
Yeah. So it just hates you, WWE fan.
Yeah, that's weird.
It just popped up. So it hates you. So but yeah, Tua goes down. I have really nothing on that game. The Bills look dominant. I believe Josh Allen is 6-0 on Thursday night games.
Yeah, because they usually have them up against shitty matchups. I mean,
yeah. So
I would be. I love Josh Allen. I want to be impressed, but probably a lot of those wins were up against a pretty crappy team.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like they play Miami on Thursdays a lot too.
Yeah,
So,
that does seem to be the trend. Yeah.
but yeah, good shout out for the Bills. Bills are 2-0. Dolphins are 1-1. Next up, noon game. The Saints took out the Cowboys 44-19. I guess we had to go here early, huh? ESPN. All right. I wasn't ready to vent yet, but here we are. We are here.
I'll let you take the stand here, my friend.
Yeah. So Cowboys get blown out, and I don't know if I'm sleeping on the Saints or the NFC East is now the NFC least again, right? So I don't know what to take from this game right now. I'm gonna just look at it as I'm sleeping on the Saints because the Saints, they just dominated. They scored on what I believe 5 straight drives. They scored touchdowns on 5 out of 6 drives, which is just crazy. But this is the reason last week I said, hey, they beat Cleveland. It was impressive, but I don't care, right? Because anytime they come up, match up with a team that can play bully ball and run the ball, they get smacked in the mouth every time. Every time. It's nothing different. It's just like Green Bay. Green Bay came in and said, we're just going to run it down your throat. That's what they did. And then we're going to set up off. After we run down your throat, we're going to set up a play action to hit you over the top. That's exactly what they did. Same format, same thing that the 49ers do when they play us. Just anybody with a good run game and that's a physical team, they just punk the Cowboys because the Cowboys are soft. They all talk. Yeah, we this, we did. Tank Lawrence be mugging the camera, yeah, and telling the reporters, I look nice, but I slap the ass out of all y'all. No, you won't. Because you getting pushed around on the field just like everybody else. Michael Parsons disappeared against these teams. Like, for whatever reason, I don't know what it is, but he disappears against these teams. But when they play teams that's not as physical, or they can't be as physical because they have injuries or they just not that team, then they look good and be flying around like they this and that. But anytime you want to beat the Cowboys, you just get physical with them. And that's the method. Run the ball down their throat and then hit them with play action. So that's what it is with the Cowboys. Derek Carr, 11-16, 243 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Dak Prescott, 27-39, 293, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Kamara, 115 yards on 20 carries, 3 touchdowns. Just ridiculous. Rico Dowd, our best running back, had 30 yards. That's I'm gonna just leave it at that. Rashid Shaheed, who I'm mad because I just traded off my fantasy right before he lit us up. 4 catches, 96 yards, 1 touchdown. Chris Olave, 4 catches, 81 yards. Kamara had 65 yards on 2 catches, 1 touchdown. CeeDee Lamb, 4 catches, 90 yards, 1 touchdown. And majority of that came from that 65-yard touchdown. So outside of that, he didn't do nothing. Cooks got locked up. 2 catches, 19 yards. Jalen Tolbert had a pretty good game. 6 catches, 82 yards, no touchdowns. But overall, it's the same method. And until the Cowboys show me anything different, I don't care who they sign. They signed a whole bunch of D tackles, B-level D tackles, just because they had size. It meant absolutely nothing. Jordan Phillips got pushed around so bad that they was like, you know what? You got a wrist injury. Send you on IR. We done. A D tackle, a 365-pound man. Oh, you hurt your wrist on the IR. That's what we're going to tell him. A wrist injury. Like, what? That's how bad he was. And if you go watch some of the clips, this man was getting pushed around like it was nothing. Like it was nothing. He was getting pushed 10 yards out of the play. So, Cowboys, this is why I said last week, I'm not excited that you beat Cleveland, even though it was impressive. And we saw some things from the linebackers. And at that game, we saw D tackles actually play well. And that's something we're not used to seeing here in the last couple of years. So it was impressive, but this team came in and say, all right, you do it against us. And you couldn't. So take that L. You 1-1, Saints 2-0. I think the Saints might be legit. Let's see.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't much of a believer in the Saints either. I mean, they came into Dallas and just put a whooping on you guys. Yeah. They beat you guys on both sides. I mean, they pretty much had that game at hand at about halftime. The game was pretty much done. You got to give the Saints credit. As much as I don't like the team, they came in there prepared and ready to play. It seemed like Dallas came in there thinking, "Oh, we're Dallas.
Right.
We got the talent. We'll be able to just go in there and win. And we're at home. It's a home opener. Everything's on our side." And New Orleans stopped that in their tracks. I mean, they scored, I believe, on their first drive on that bomb to Rashid. I just think that was kind of underestimated the opponent they were going up against, and New Orleans capitalized. And again, I don't know what we're gonna get from New Orleans. They've looked pretty solid these first 2 games. Granted, week 1 they played the Panthers. How could you not look good?
Right.
But beating the Cowboys at home opener, that's pretty impressive. And the way they beat them as well. So yeah, if you're at the Dallas Cowboys, I guess you got to be a little bit worried. Next week you go against, or this week you go against the Ravens, who are desperate for a win as well. So it doesn't get any easier for the Cowboys. So you want to see a better performance from them on Sunday for sure.
Yeah, I have nothing else until we start getting into week 3, because I had nothing positive to say. It was just,
I'm cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, there's really not much positive to say. I mean,
to the idiot fans that blame Dak Prescott for them losing, what is wrong with you? You're that dumb. You that delusional. You hate Dak that much. Then you start counting his pockets again. He's making this amount of money. He should match the Saints touchdown for touchdown. This is not Madden, fool.
yeah.
That's not how it works. That's not how it works. So,
I think people forget that it's a team game.
Yeah, he had to be perfect basically to win that game, just like he would have had to be perfect against Green Bay to win that game. And they think it's just Madden on All Pro or something where you can just go up and down. Oh, let's score a touchdown too. No, these are legit NFL players, and they got playmakers on their defense as well. I forgot they even had Chase Young.
Yeah.
So you got the Honey Badger and all them. They got playmakers on their team. So the fact that Dak was driving up and down the field, and yeah, they didn't score a touchdown every time, but they got points. If you tell me that the Cowboys are going to drive up and down the field, or any team is going to drive up and down the field 4 out of 5 times and get points every time, you would think that's good, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, but since the defense kept giving up touchdown after touchdown after touchdown, it's Dak's fault. You're an idiot. Shut the hell up.
Yeah, if anything, to blame is the defense that they didn't show up. They just, what was the defense we got against Cleveland?
Cleveland didn't have a running back. That's all that was.
Like
That's what it looked
9
like.
day. It's like, man.
Yeah, so I mean, just idiots, man. But anyway, that's all I'm gonna say on that. I just ignore them. I'm like, you're stupid. You're stupid. Like, did you not watch the game, dummy? You too busy counting another grown man's pockets. So what? That's where the market is, you dumbass. Anyway, Tampa Bay take on the Detroit Lions. They win 20-16. I told you to look out for this game, man. Tampa Bay is 2-0. Detroit is 1-1. Baker Mayfield, 12 of 19, 185 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 34 yards on the ground, 1 touchdown as well. He actually led your team in rushing as well. Jared Goff threw the ball 55 times, completed 34 of them, 307 yards, 2 touchdowns. Jahmyr Gibbs, 84 yards. Montgomery, 35 yards, 1 touchdown. Chris Godwin went off. 7 catches, 117 yards, 1 touchdown. His longest was a 41 yard completion. 8 targets, 7 out of 8. So killed it. Mike Evans, 42 yards, 3 catches, no touchdowns. So that's Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense forcing Detroit to throw the ball a lot, and they still shut that offense down in Detroit. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, it was, there wasn't, how can I say this? I was very impressed with the way they went into Detroit and pretty much dominated them on the defensive side. Goff had his yards. I mean, Gibbs had 83 yards rushing, somewhere around those lines. Mm-hmm. But the Bucs held them tight. I mean, they went into the red zone twice, held them to field goals. Got turnovers in key situations, especially on the drive before the end of the last drive the Lions had with the ball. I think the offense is clicking on all cylinders. The running game wasn't obviously there when you have Baker leading the rushing stats. That's never good.
Right.
But on the positive side, the throwing aspect was there. You know, we had Godwin early on in the game. He was just connecting with him that first half. He went a little bit quiet in the second half, but that Bucs defense showed out. You know, we're down our starting safety. We ended up losing Vita Vea in the middle of the game as well. So we didn't have Vita Vea. There you go. Golly. We lost him in the middle of the game. So we were down a lot of key players in that game, and they showed out. The rookies came to play. We had a corner at safety playing on Sunday. So, you know, huge props for the defense for showing out. Jordan Whitehead will not be talked about enough. He was one of the best key additions to the Bucs defense. We lost him to the Jets a couple of years ago after he won the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Got him back this year to have him alongside Antoine Winfield. And that man has made some plays. He disrupted a couple of passing plays with his hits, had 11 tackles. I mean, that man was all over the field. I don't know what else to say, but the defense played so well. I just hope they can continue on. Obviously, they have to stay healthy, which is always never a guarantee. But, man, Zion McCollum, 1 year in, he's playing like a beast. Jamel Dean, I thought, played well. It was just a well-rounded game on the defensive side. I mean, they stopped them on that last drive when Detroit's driving down the field, and they end up winning the game. Also, you got to put a little bit of blame on Dan Campbell. For whatever reason, they get a delay of game, I believe, or a false start, something around those lines, before halftime ended. So it got a 10-second runoff, and they weren't able to kick the field goal.
Yeah.
So, you know, a lot of bonehead plays by the Detroit Lions.
Dan is always, it seems like he's always doing something crazy like that in big games.
Right. And what else kind of shocked me as well is there was one possession they went for a fake punt. They got it. Obviously, Bucs weren't ready for it. Weren't expecting it. They get the fake punt. They get the first down. And then the rest of the game, Dan was not aggressive whatsoever. There was a couple of times where it was 4th and short, and they punted, which you would think that the old Dan from last season would have went for it. So it felt like he thought his defense could hold the Bucs, which mostly for the majority of the game they did. The Bucs had some huge plays, but it was kind of weird to see Dan not be as aggressive as he was last season.
Do you think that playoff game is the reason?
Definitely, absolutely. I think he's second guessing himself with some of these aggressive play calls. I don't know if you saw this. I saw this on Twitter. He ended up having to sell his house because of someone leaking his address the night during the playoffs when they lost. Wow. So he had to end up selling his house and moving. So that's crazy. Yeah. I'm not gonna rant
because that's just stuff like that, because it takes me back to wrestling. Like, you know, I'm not gonna rant.
Wild,
that's just ridiculous, man.
That people take that so serious. I get it. The Detroit Lions fan base is a very passionate fan base, and they're starting to feel winning on their fingertips now, and they're taking it a little bit too far. That's just wild.
Jay Cross always trying to get me to rant. Look, we on a time limit tonight, and we started late. I'm WWE fan. I'm really trying to figure out why your stuff is not popping up. I really don't understand, because Chump Ass, as I call him, his stuff comes right in too. But I don't know what's going on with you. Like, Stream, you got beef with what is this? Streamlabs? You got beef with Streamlabs, WWE fan? Is this something we need to know?
That's weird, bro. That is on. That's on. It's very odd.
That is crazy. We just talked about the Cowboys, buddy. We'll get back to them when we get to week 3 predictions. Let's keep it moving. A game that I don't think nobody really cared about, unless you're fans of this team. The Packers beat the Colts 16-10 in an ugly game. Anthony Richardson 17-34, 204 yards, 1 touchdown. Josh Jacobs 32 carries, 151 yards. My guy, who I just had to cut until Jordan Love gets back, Watson, no targets, no yards, no catches. It was just, I had to get rid of him, because I'm like, okay, if this is going to be what they do with him, ain't no point of me having him on my fantasy team right now until Jordan Love gets back. So that's the biggest thing I took out of it is I can't use Christian Watson right now. So Packers are 1-1, Colts 0-2. Anything on that?
No, I guess the Colts, man, they look bad. They don't. I mean, they had all this like hype around them. Anthony Richardson coming back from the injury.
He's a
Jonathan
quarterback.
Taylor. You got Pittman. I mean, all this like hype around the Colts about maybe this being their year of breaking out and making the playoffs.
Right.
But man, they look bad. Pittman is not even getting the ball. He's. I don't know, man. That's my only take is that the Colts they don't look good.
The Jets take out the Titans. Another team that's kind of shocking me with their 0-2 start. But when you look at the quarterback, it kind of makes sense. The Jets moved to 1-1. They beat the Titans 24-17 in Tennessee. Tennessee is 0-2. Will Levis, 19-28, 192 yards, 1 touchdown. Like when you look at that, you be like, oh, Will didn't really have that much of a bad game. But if you actually watch the game and highlights of that game, he was absolutely horrible. Aaron Rodgers, 18-30, 176 yards, 2 touchdowns. Breece Hall, 62 yards on 14 carries. Braylon Allen, who the Cowboys should have drafted, 33 yards, 1 touchdown. He's the youngest person to ever score a touchdown in the NFL, so shout out to him. Breece Hall, 52 yards on 7 catches, 2 touchdowns. Braylon Allen, he disappeared. Braylon Allen, 2 catches, 23 yards. See, this is another thing. This is why I stopped using Streamlabs, because people would disappear just out the blue. They would freaking disappear. Let's see where he's at. There he go.
I was listening to you, and then all of a sudden, bloop.
This is one of the reasons I stopped using Streamlabs for this. It did that to Melina. It did that to everybody that I've used. Anyway, let's keep it going. Braylon Allen, 2 catches, 23 yards, another touchdown. Calvin Ridley, 77 yards on 4 catches, 1 touchdown. Good win for the Jets, I guess. It's just nothing impressed me by either team.
Nah,
you got anything?
Like Will Levis, dude. Like that man just needs to learn to throw the ball away and stop trying to make himself Superman out there and making some of the most boneheaded plays. And it's funny, his coach. What the fuck are you doing?
Right.
What? I mean, my goodness. Yeah, I have really no thoughts on it other than the Jets pick up a win looks better for me on my Super Bowl pick, even though they don't look like a Super Bowl team right now.
We go get.
I know it's early. I know it's super early, but my goodness.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, the Jets got a little. We'll get to that. Moving on, a game that I absolutely love. The 49ers go to Minnesota and take that L, baby, to Sam Darnold. So 49ers fans, they tried to talk noise and they was on hush mode as well. Shut up. Yeah. So Brock Purdy, I'm sorry, let me go back. They lose 23-17 to Minnesota, who is 2-0. 49ers are now 1-1. Brock Purdy, 28-36, 319 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, because I thought Dak was the only one that throws interceptions. Sam Darnold, 17-26, 268 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception, because Dak is the only one that throws interceptions. Jordan Mason filled in last minute for Christian McCaffrey, and McCaffrey is going to miss multiple games, come to find out. Thank you, Madden Curse. Jordan Mason, 20 carries, 100 yards, 1 touchdown. So shout out to him on the ground. Ty Chandler, 10 carries, 82 yards for Minnesota. Justin Jefferson, just typical Justin Jefferson. 4 catches, 133 yards, 1 touchdown on a 97-yarder, which was absolutely crazy. Deebo Samuel, 8 catches, 110 yards. And he got injured as well, so it looks like he's gonna be out for a while. Brandon Ayuk, 4 catches, 43 yards. I believe he got injured as well. George Kittle, 7 for 76. So I guess we're about to find out what Brock Purdy is about to, what he really is now that he doesn't have his top weapons out there in San Francisco. So let's see if he can make Juwan Jennings and all them, and George Kittle could keep the float, keep the boat going. And Mason looked great on the line, running the ball. So outside of that, we're about to find out what's really real with Brock Purdy. It's what it seems like. That's my take out of this game. And Minnesota, man, I don't know what to. What's your thoughts on Minnesota, man?
Yeah, nobody really thought Minnesota would be 2-0. I think right now, seeing who they had to match up against. Obviously, you probably had them beat the Giants, but going and beating the Niners, I mean, that's a little bit of a shocker there. Even without McCaffrey, I think the Niners still should have beaten the Vikings.
I mean, and they held them to 17.
Yeah, the Vikings just came to play. I think they wanted to win for Darnold, obviously, for many reasons. He was a former Niner. They kind of just gave up on him.
Did you see him talking noise?
Yeah, he was talking a lot of noise after they beat them. Let's see them play him again, see what happens. But like you said, with Brock, this is going to be a major test for him. We've kind of talked about him last season, about him just being a system quarterback and being able to, throw these footballs to Ayuk and Debo and McCaffrey and then breaking for touchdowns. It's going to be a true test for him without McCaffrey for a couple of games. No Debo either. It's gonna be a true test to see if he's really the quarterback that people be talking about.
Yeah.
This last season and coming into this season as well. He's up for a contract. This is a bend or break for him. If he goes out there and, like you said, keeps them afloat until McCaffrey and Debo comes back, then maybe you got something. But I don't know what we should expect from him, seeing that all this talent is gone for a couple of weeks. There's going to be excuses, obviously, for Brock not having Debo and not having his star running back.
Right.
But again, when you're a quarterback and you're a star quarterback and a starter, you got to go over these trials and tribulations. And this one is his first real tough challenge as a quarterback with the Niners, with all these weapons being out.
As far as the Vikings, I'm gonna just chalk it up as a good win.
Yeah,
I'm not buying them just yet.
Yeah, I gotta see a little bit more from them to be like, yeah, they're legit. You know, it's kind of hard to like Jeff said in the chat. Once maybe week 4, week 5 come around and they're getting some more wins under their belt, then we can be like, yeah, this team is for real. But again, this is early. Teams are still trying to click and get more, established with themselves. Because like you said, a lot of these people didn't play during preseason.
Right.
So week 2, not to take away from the win. It's a big win, but let's see where they are in 3 games from now.
Right. Seahawks go to overtime with the Patriots and win 23-20 in New England. Seattle is 2-0. Patriots 1-1. Geno Smith 33 of 44, 327 yards, 1 touchdown. Gibson, is it Antonio or Antoine Gibson? Antonio Gibson, 11 carries, 96 yards for New England. Metcalf, 10 catches, 129 yards, 1 touchdown. One thing about the Patriots, I don't know where he is, Jay Cross. He was talking noise earlier. I don't know where he is right now. He always show up late. The Patriots, one thing about the Patriots, man, they might not win a lot of games, but they still got a defense. They defense play hard, and I don't trust their offense enough to get them no wins, but they're gonna make you fight them to beat them. That's what I'm noticing about the Patriots early on. So, any thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Their offense stinks.
Yeah.
It's basically a running game,
right?
And then throwing it here and there.
2 running backs. Yep.
Yeah. But their defense is pretty solid. With Christian Gonzalez and all those other weapons they have on the team, they're playing hard for Gerard Mayo. So, like you said, they probably won't win more than maybe 5 or 6 games. But I think they're going to have a lot of close games where you're like, man, wow, I'm actually kind of shocked the game was closer than I thought. So, like you said, they're going to fight and they're going to play them hard, but don't expect them to win very many games.
Right. Game of the NFC least, the least of the NFC least. The Giants lose to the Commanders 21-18 in Washington. Giants are 0-2. Washington is 1-1. Daniel Jones, who Tiki Barber said, "Oh, take over Dak Prescott. 10 out of 10 times. Yeah, stupid. 16 of 28, 178 yards. He did have 2 touchdowns, so that's not bad. Singletary had 95 yards on the ground, 1 touchdown. Jaden McDaniels, 23 of 29, 226 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. Brian Robinson, 133 yards on the ground, no touchdowns. Malik Neighbors, the rookie, 10 catches, 127 yards, 1 touchdown. So, I mean, Daniel Jones didn't look that bad, but it was against the freaking Commanders. Like, you know.
Yeah.
And then Jaden Daniels didn't look bad, but it was against the freaking Giants. So,
Yeah.
they
There's
all
not much-
suck.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
not much
so-
to say about this. I mean, again, Malik, you got to be happy for him. He played a hell of a game, especially in the situation that he's in right now.
I actually hated that because I was going up against him in my fantasy.
Yeah, that's
But,
rough. That's
yeah.
rough. But yeah, he balled out, man. And props to the Commanders getting their first win and get Jaden Daniels his first win as a quarterback, rookie quarterback. Not really much else to say. I mean, they get 2 crappy teams
Right.
playing, and the better team won. It's good job, Commanders.
Yeah, good job, Dan Quinn. First win in Washington.
Oh, that's right.
And
Yeah,
from,
good
and
call.
from what I know, nobody got doo-dooed on this time at the game. So shout out to Washington. You know, Washington, they have issues at their stadium where
Oh, right. Why don't
Yeah.
they give them? Did they not like want to buy a new stadium or make them build them a new stadium? Is that like not in the cards?
I have
With
no
these
idea.
new owners that they have. What the hell?
I have
That's
no
why
idea.
I can see why they're called the Commodes. I mean, Jesus, that's horrible.
Yeah. Might be the only stadium worse than that Raiders stadium.
Yeah, for real.
Like,
What's going
yeah,
on?
it's just horrible. So, moving on to Chargers, we have to start questioning the Chargers now. Are they legit? They moved to 2 and okay, they played the Panthers, but they moved to 2-0 after they dominated the Panthers, 26-3. Justin Herbert, 14 of 20, 130, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception because Dak is the only one that throws interceptions. Bryce Young, 18 of 26, 84 yards, bro. Threw the ball 26 times, completed 18 of them for 26 yards. I'm sorry, for 84 yards, 1 interception, and he's been benched. I just want Bryce to get up out of there because all the quarterbacks seems to suck there. So Carolina is a shit show right now, and I think Bryce will be better somewhere else, just like Baker is, just like Sam Darnold is seeming to be right now. But J.K. Dobbins, man, this is something that I'm glad to see as a person that likes the Ravens. He's a former Raven, kept getting injured. He looks to be back. 17 carries, 131 yards, 1 touchdown. His longest run was 43 yards. That's what I got out of it. Quentin Johnson actually looked like a wide receiver, an NFL wide receiver, and J.K. Dobbins looks to be back. That's my takes on the game. You got
Yeah,
anything?
it's a nice little feel-good story with J.K. You know, with him getting hurt a lot with the Ravens and leaving the team and gets picked up by the Chargers and
Right.
thinking, oh man, it's probably going to be the same old. He's going to play and get hurt. But I mean, I hope he plays and has a successful season because I just those are the type of guys you feel bad for, you know, that always just seem to get hurt in the wrong times. Now with Bryce Young, my goodness gracious, bad for the boy, man. Like, I don't think if you put any quarterback in the situation with the Panthers, they're going to succeed.
Yeah.
You know, you switch the roles. We don't know how good Bryce would be in Houston. We don't know how good Stroud would be in Carolina.
I mean, CJ would be better, but I still think it would be bad if he was there.
It still would be bad, absolutely. Bryce was just put in a pretty bad situation. First year there, he loses his coach the second year. So, I mean, and it's a whole new coaching staff.
How many coaches have been through Carolina in the I think
lot.
it's been like 6 or 7 in the last 9
bit.
years or something like that. It's horrible.
Now, Dave Canellis, who was the former offensive coordinator for the Bucs, is supposed to be some type of like quarterback whisperer,
Yeah,
and was supposed to like change Bryce Young, and that's why they picked him up.
No.
He doesn't look like he's ready to be a head coach. And again, it's real early. Bryce Young didn't play at all in the preseason except for 1 snap, which is horrible. How do you
stop
expect?
that? Yeah.
How do you expect someone to get used to the new offense when you have him not play at all?
That young, and he's young.
Yeah,
He's not a vet, so
I feel bad for Bryce. I mean, obviously, this is the right move to make is to sit him. seeing how he's played from last year to this year,
Yeah.
it's just the right move to make if you want to be successful as a team. Like you said, if I'm Carolina, you probably want to hit the reboot button, and you probably get rid of him. You go after a quarterback in the draft.
Archie Manning.
Yeah, Archie, you got
Or
Shadir.
Quinn. Yes, should do it. Dion is not going to allow that to happen. I can tell you that now.
There's options in the draft that you can go with.
Quinn Ewers.
And they're gonna probably be in the top 3, if not the
Yeah.
number 1 pick once again. So if you're the Carolina Panthers, I think you just move on from Bryce. I think it'll be better for him to be moved on as well, and just start over.
Yeah.
At this point.
I don't know if they overrated him, Jay Cross, because you go back and watch him in college, he was better than Tua. Which, I mean, I guess if you say that now, it doesn't seem like much, but Bryce was a very good quarterback in college, man. He had an arm on him, so it's I don't know. I blame Carolina more than I blame Bryce right now, and they messed up. They should have took CJ. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, they should. I think it's feel bad because people are labeling it like the biggest bust ever.
Yeah,
over Marcus.
no, Jamarcus is definitely the worst.
But yeah, I think you could tell by the eye test that Stroud was better. Like, I don't know what made them think Bryce would have been better than Stroud. Like, Stroud has
the history of Ohio State quarterbacks in the NFL. That's what that was. They were just scared.
Yeah, probably.
That's all that was.
Stroud's big. He's tall. He has an arm. He can run. I mean, how do you just?
Because they've had a lot of good quarterbacks come out of Ohio State, get in the NFL, and just whatever reason they just fall off. So
right.
But yeah, that's what it is. I believe hopefully that's what it was that scared them off, and it wasn't nothing else. But whatever. It's not my team. The Browns move to 1-1. They take out the Jags. Trevor Lawrence, people love Trevor Lawrence, and he's just trash. They win 18-13 in Jacksonville. So Tony Khan is just taking hit after hit right now.
Absolutely.
Tony Khan taking hits after hit. Deshaun Watson looked way better. 22 of 34, 186 yards. Trevor Lawrence 14-30, 222 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions for either quarterback. Brian Thomas 94 yards on 2 catches. Jerry Jeudy 73 yards on 5 catches. I watched this game. It was bad. And I'm mad I watched it because of fantasy purposes. But this game was bad. That's all I got on it. Shout out to the Browns.
Dougie P will be gone as a Jacksonville coach. I think he's another one that I'm doing a little prediction that he'll be gone at the end of the year. I just don't think Jacksonville's good with the talent that they have and the way. Another team that blew it on a number 1 pick. They could have had Aiden Hutchinson, and they passed him up, and it's definitely biting him in the ass right now. I think Dougie P will be gone as coach with the Jaguars. I think his time over there is going to be done. And like you said, it was an ugly game for the most part. And Deshaun looked better. Whatever you want to say about that, he looked better.
Screw Christian Kirk, screw Evan Ingram for giving me absolutely nothing my first 2 weeks in fantasy. So bad start thanks to those 2 players. If I got anything from those 2, I mean,
really. I mean,
anything.
Kirk was supposed to have this was his coming out party, you know.
I cut both of them.
They lose, he's supposed to be the number 1 guy there, but seemingly he's not. And I don't know what happened to ETN. He's on silent. So
I mean, he's the only offense right now. I mean, Thomas is giving you a little bit, but ETN, is pretty much the only offense right now. This game kind of upset me. Ravens lose. They blow a lead to the Raiders. And the Ravens are now 0-2 after they lose 26-23 to Vegas at home. Lamar Jackson 21-34, 247 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Derrick Henry 84 yards, 1 touchdown. Gardner Minshew 30 of 38, 276 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Devontae Adams 110 yards, 9 catches, 1 touchdown. Zay Flowers 7 catches, 91 yards, 1 touchdown. The Ravens had the game, and they just blew it. And when I tuned in to the game, it was the fourth quarter, and you could just see the momentum changing because they couldn't throw the ball no more, and then they couldn't stop them from passing. They was just moving the ball like it was nothing. And yeah, we're gonna find out a lot about the Ravens and the Cowboys coming up this week. So that's all I'm gonna say about that. But the Ravens should not be 0-2 right now, in my opinion. That's all I got on that. You got anything?
No, I
on that?
agree. I mean, they should have beat the Chiefs, or at least had an opportunity to beat the Chiefs.
One Kevin Durant big toe away from.
I don't know what to think about the Ravens right now. They're a little bit tough team to to dissect right now. A tough game against the Chiefs week 1. I mean, a lot of people had them winning, especially it's the home opener for the Chiefs in Super Bowl, whatever. And then you got obviously them just pissing the bed against the Raiders. Like, there's no excuse to be in the Raiders. Just like you said, they were up by 10 late in the fourth quarter,
Right.
and they blow the lead. Like, you don't see that from Baltimore,
Right.
Especially, I mean, this old Baltimore team, you don't see that from them. This is a must-win game against Dallas. They go 0-3.
For
Good luck
both
trying
of
to
them,
make.
yeah.
Yeah, good luck trying to make the playoffs being 0-3 in a competitive AFC North division. That's a dogfight every game you have. You got the Steelers, you got the Browns, you got the Bengals. Those are dogfights. They're not easy games for the Ravens. And they got the Bucks still. I believe they have to play New Orleans. I think they got to make the rounds through the NFC
I
South.
believe they play Philly as well.
I'm not honestly sure,
I'm gonna
but if
double
they
check.
do, I mean, good luck. I mean, they don't have cupcake games during their schedule. So, I mean, the Ravens are in a must-win situation this Sunday. They need to win that game against Dallas. Even if Dallas does lose, I think Dallas will still have an opportunity to make the playoffs just because of how the
Just the
bad.
NFC
I mean,
East, yeah.
they're going to get easy 4 wins against Washington and New York.
Yeah.
So they'll be right back in the picture. But, I mean, goodness gracious, if you're Baltimore, you're in desperation mode right now.
Yeah. And they need to work on their secondary. I know they just got a new defensive coordinator, and they lost a lot of people last year and brought a lot of people in new. But run defense is still good. You're still number 1 in run defense, but your secondary, you dead last in passing defense. So Jay Cross said, yeah, they do play the Eagles. So we'll see. That's going to be an interesting matchup when that happens.
Yeah, it's going to
Just
I'm
based off of
honestly-
how they both play. I mean, like I said, if the secondary don't get better, they could just AJ Brown and Devontae Smith them to death. They don't necessarily need to, run the ball with Saquon. But I mean, yeah, with Saquon. So we'll see. We'll get into the Ravens a little bit later. Moving on, the Cardinals just destroyed the Rams 41-10. Marvin Harrison, another guy that I had. That I went up against in fantasy. Everybody just want to have a miracle year, a miracle week playing me. 4 catches, 130 yards, 2 touchdowns. After doing absolutely nothing last week, or the week before, I should say. Kyler Murray, 17 of 21, 266 yards, 3 touchdowns. Connor on the ground, 122 yards, 1 touchdown. Just pure domination. And I believe Cooper Kupp and what's his name is hurt as well.
Puka. Yeah.
Puka. So again, injury bug for the Rams receivers.
Falling apart, bro.
Yeah.
Like, they're falling apart. Like, I think you're the one that said it in our predictions in the for playoffs. The Cardinals will be a sneaky team, and man, they are fast.
Yeah.
On offense, they got some speed, and I don't want to say I was shocked at the outcome against the Rams, but holy crap! I think they just put the stomping on them.
They destroyed the
from
Rams.
the whistle. Like, Marvin going off. Like, Marvin was unreal.
Yeah.
Against the Rams. And the Rams defense is, which I thought it was. I mean, I thought they were good, but apparently they're not. So the Rams, my heart is not breaking for the Rams. I feel no remorse for the Rams. They can go 0-16, 17. I don't care. I just can't believe the Cardinals whooped them that bad.
Yeah, man. Hey, like I said, if y'all didn't watch our first video of season 3, which wasn't live, it was just recorded on YouTube. Told you look out for them Cardinals, man. So they got some talent there. And they're showing it. They're 1-1. Rams 0-2. It's getting bad. So now when you look at the Rams getting whooped like that, and you look at the Lions, and they went to overtime week 1. What does that really say about the Lions? Are they really as good as we thought they were going to be, or what's going on with that?
Are coming down a little bit off the Lions after
Yeah.
their 2 first games. I'm not. I think they're still going to be there at the end. But you can definitely see people kind of like, well, maybe we were giving them too much hype at the beginning of the year. You could definitely see it on the sports talk radio this week for sure.
But that's what happens when you have a sneaky year where you sneak in, nobody's really paying attention to you. So next year, after you win 10 plus games, they got you marked on their schedule now. It's not, we just play the Lions. No, it's we play the Lions.
Oh, they're stepping up to play this.
Yeah, you're not gonna sneak up on nobody. You gotta be legit. So,
you're gonna get every team's best shot every time you play them. They're gonna want to beat you. So, I mean, Detroit's just gonna have to be ready for it.
Yeah. So, moving on, the Steelers. This was an ugly game. Steelers took out the Broncos, 13-6 in Denver. Denver's 0-2. Pittsburgh is 2-0. Justin Fields, 13 of 20, 117 yards, 1 touchdown. Bo Nix, 20 of 35, 246, 2 interceptions for him. He led the team in rushing with 25 yards. Najee Harris, 69 yards on 17 carries. And Josh Reynolds, who a former Detroit Lion, who I thought that was a big loss for Detroit. Josh Reynolds is now in Denver, 4 catches, 93 yards for him. He's becoming a number 1 receiver out there. Yeah. It's a only thing I got from this game is now people are saying, well, should Justin Fields keep starting? And I don't know.
My question to them is, are you going to see a big difference from Russell to Justin?
I don't think it's that much of a difference. I just think he's a younger version.
Yeah, I think you just ride with Justin Fields. Why not? I mean, he's been doing solid for you for now. You're winning games. Keep him. If he has a game like where he's just bad, like a Tua bad or a Bryce Young bad, then yeah, go ahead, start Russell Wilson next week, whatever have you.
Yeah.
But as of now, I would ride Justin Fields. He's playing to not lose games. He's making the smart decisions. I think they're doing okay right now. Why would you ruin that and start Russell? Because I don't think Russell's going to be like, yeah, he's yards in front of Justin Fields. Mm-hmm. I don't see that. I would keep Fields.
And if you're a team that's in desperate need of a quarterback, do you trade for Russell, Trey Lance, or like who do you go after if you're in desperate need of a quarterback? Like you got the team, but your quarterback is just not there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what you get from Trey Lance. Like
nobody
I don't know.
knows.
I mean,
you get a good runner; he can run.
That dude's a mystery.
Yeah,
that's a question mark right there with Trey Lance. You know, we saw what we saw what he did in the preseason, where he threw like 5 picks or something around those lines.
Oh,
You're probably the safe bet is to go with Russ. If you're a team that's trying to make a run,
yeah.
Like, you know, if I'm Miami, I would consider it. He's probably better than Skylar Thompson.
Definitely.
So I mean, if you're the Dolphins, maybe you consider if he's like your best shot or you're the only one that you can really get your hands on. Maybe you consider going after Russell Wilson, but I think he's washed. And I don't think he's going to provide much for a team. He may prove me wrong. Maybe he has something to prove, and I think he obviously does. But we'll see. Like you said, it's going to be wild these next couple of weeks with some of these teams.
Right. It's going to be interesting what happens with these backup quarterbacks because some of them, I mean, they still have names, so it's going to be interesting to see. Cincinnati lose by 1 to the Chiefs, 26-25. Chiefs 2-0, Bengals 0-2. Joe Burrow 23 of 36, 2 touchdowns. Pat Mahomes 18 of 25, 151 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Because I thought Dak was the only one that threw interceptions. I ain't gonna do it. Pacheco 19 carries, 90 yards. He got injured, unfortunately, so Pacheco looks to be out for a while. They need to trade Jamar Chase, man. They need to trade Jamar Chase. That's what I got from this game. The defense looked pretty good in Cincinnati, or I don't know if it's the defense look good or Kansas City just having a typical slow offensive start that they've been doing the past 2-3 years. I don't know which one I don't know how to look at that.
Jamar Chase obviously does not want to be in Cincinnati, or he would have signed the deal with Cincinnati. I think obviously he'll be a little bit tough to trade because obviously it's the contract's up at the end of the year. He will probably have to get a guarantee. Yeah, I'm going to sign with you. Unless you're a team that just wants him because you want to win that Super Bowl. You don't give a shit if he resigns with you or not.
I'll send him to Carolina just to piss him off. Bye.
But my gosh, just to connect with him and Burrow just doesn't seem to be there this season.
But why though?
Yeah, it's weird. Like, I'm watching the game and it looks like Burrow's not even looking his way. Like, it's not even an option to go to him, which is very weird.
College teammates won NCAA championship together, went to the Super Bowl and NFL together. Like, and they throwing you money. I don't understand what's going on with Jamar over there.
Yeah,
like, what went wrong to all of a sudden he's pissed off and don't want to be in Cincinnati no more?
That's I would love to know what triggered him to not want to be there anymore. Because obviously he wants to make more than Justin Jefferson. I get it. But you're not better than Justin Jefferson, buddy. You're not. I get it. You think you are, but you're not. And it's not like Cincinnati was throwing him great contracts in front of him. They were giving this man money. Right. Obviously, it wasn't going to surpass Jefferson.
Yeah.
And he got butthurt about it. Let him go.
I mean, that's his fault. You know they competitive, and Justin probably didn't text him and said all type of crazy stuff.
I'm sure they're texting back and forth, talking back to each other. Let him go. Let him ride out somewhere else.
Yeah.
If you can't trade him. I mean, if Cincinnati's 0-2 right now. They've lost games they should have won. They should have beaten the Chiefs.
The Rams need a receiver.
There you go. I don't want them to go there, but fuck.
It seems, seems the Rams need a receiver. It seems like the 49ers might need a receiver because of injuries.
You're going to have to give up a lot to get him, but we've seen crazier things happen in the NFL with trades. So
Trent Williams for Jamar Chase. Trent don't want to be in San Francisco, it seems.
You got to do something.
The Jets need a receiver, another one.
There you go. I mean, obviously, more than likely, he's going to be a Bengal for the rest of the season. Him being traded is probably not going to happen. But for whatever reason, it just doesn't seem like Burrow is even looking towards Jamar Chase. Watching them last week or on Sunday, Jamar got the ball a couple of times, and then the one time he got it, he had a hissy fit. So it's just it's crazy to see Jamar this season compared to last season and the year before. It's just a totally different Jamar.
Mm-hmm. So that's going to be something to watch out for this season between those with Jamar and the Bengals. But I don't know how to judge that game. The Bengals defense looked good, but again, the Chiefs normally start off slow, and they offense has been, they
lost Pacheco too now.
Yeah, and it's still week 2, which they don't come out the gates normally swinging like that in week 2. So I'm gonna just chalk it up as the Bengals had a good defensive game, but we'll see. Another good defensive battle, which this actually was a fun defensive battle. I know it got kind of ugly for Caleb Williams, but the Texans take out the Bears 19-13. Texans 2-0. Chicago 1-1. CJ Stroud 23 of 36, 260 yards, 1 touchdown. Caleb Williams led Chicago in rushing yards with 44 yards. Nico Collins 8 catches. I hate push play because push play took Nico from me in fantasy. But 8 catches, 135 yards, 1 touchdown. Nico is the real number 1 option in Houston. I know everybody talk about Diggs, but Nico, I've been trying to tell folks since last year, Nico is that guy. People slept on him last year. he helped me wake people up just via fantasy because they were like, they made fun of me, Tony, when I drafted Nico Collins last year. They made fun of me. I wish I'm gonna have to go back and just show you screenshots. They were like, Nico Collins, your number one receiver? You stupid. Dominated the whole
I was
season.
super high on Nico. Nico was my second pick in my draft. Super, super high on Nico. Nico is having a come out party this year for sure.
Well, last year it was his come out.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah.
You are correct. He's just coming. He's just continuing it. I feel bad for Caleb. That dude's gonna die if they don't figure out some way to protect that man. That dude was running for his life.
He was
against Houston. Poor guy. They had the opportunity to win that game.
Yeah.
You know, Chicago played well. I think it was more of their defense than their offense. Obviously, I don't know what you do with the Chicago's offense. I remember the beginning of the year when Chicago was making all these moves and they're getting, you know, they
Keenan Allen.
keep DJ Moore and they bring in Keenan Allen,
who's hurt,
and then they bring in Swift, and they're bringing all these weapons for Caleb, and they're saying that this is the most weapons a quarterback has had for the Chicago Bears in forever, and people are labeling Caleb already the best quarterback the Chicago Bears has ever
after
had.
that preseason. Yep.
I mean, can you put any more freaking pressure on this kid?
Yep.
I mean, seriously.
But they didn't give him an O-line. That's the problem.
They didn't give him an O-line. And they got a coach that is on the hot seat as well. So I think the Bears they're gonna be who we thought they are. Mm-hmm. They're gonna play competitive, but they're not gonna win very many games. They're gonna have a new coach next year as well. A lot of people are throwing out Lincoln Riley and stuff like that because of the ties they have in USC. It could happen for sure. But this man was running for his life against Houston. They need to figure something out for real.
Yeah, and Houston just has in my opinion, on paper they have a good defense. They secondary is great. I don't think Houston really has any
walls,
like any holes in their team this year.
Don't.
Like they're loaded at running back. So if Mixon get hurt, you still got Cam Akers and you still got Pierce. Like you have receivers all over the place. Like you got a decent tight end. Like you just D-line is decent. O-line is good. Linebackers are pretty good. Secondary is just lit up. Like coaching is good. Like that's why I picked them as
like, you know, we have a lot of Houston fans who we follow, friends with, and a lot of and it annoys the shit out of me. I ain't gonna lie. And a lot of it is what Super Bowl or bust. And at first I was like, you know what? I don't really believe that.
Yeah.
But when you look at this team from top to bottom, there is no freaking reason why Houston shouldn't be in the Super Bowl this year.
That's why.
Absolutely no reason, unless a dramatic injury happens.
They lose to the Chiefs.
Stroud or the Kansas City refs, if you would want to get. I mean, let's be real. Come on now. But anyways, I digress. If they get a super big time injury, there's no reason why we don't see the Chiefs and Texans in the conference championship.
Yeah.
I mean, come on now.
And if you remember, those are my two teams for the AFC.
Yeah.
So
I do not have them, but I can see why people are really, really high on Houston. If they get home field advantage, watch out.
Yeah. Yeah, we got to see what Pacheco is going to look like throughout the season, if he's going to be healthy. Because I can't think of who's the running back behind him. Is it still? I don't even know if Clyde is still there.
I don't think they have him. Now, I know they brought in Kareem Hunt to look at.
Who was the rookie that everybody was excited, that the Chiefs fans were excited about? I think that's who they're going with. I can't remember his name.
White running back that they have, but I can't think of his name. I know they but they brought in Kareem Hunt, who's been there before. So,
yeah, well, we'll see. But moving on to my favorite game of the week, Philadelphia Eagles lose to the Atlanta Falcons, baby. 22-21. Falcons 1-1, Eagles 1-1. It made my weekend way better. Kirk Cousins, who I said last week, I picked Philly to win because Kirk Cousins suck at night games. He he just lit them up this game for whatever reason. 20 of 29, 241 yards, 2 touchdowns. The last drive was just a cakewalk for him. I just don't understand how Philly let that happen. Jalen Hurts, 23 of 30, 183 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, because I thought Dak was the only one that threw picks. Bijan Robinson, 14 carries, 97 yards. Saquon, man, 22 carries, 95 yards. I hate looking at him in the Eagles jersey because he looks great in the Eagles jersey outside of that drop. Which that caused controversy because everybody like, well, they should have ran the ball anyway. But I let Jay Cross and I let Philly fans, argue about that. Because to me, if he catches that game over, that wasn't a bad play call to me. But it just happened. Jalen led it a little too far, and it hit his fingertips, and he just couldn't grab it. But Jay Cross said he didn't. Let me see. He didn't. You mean line him up or light him? He didn't line him up. It was only he didn't light him up. It was only the last drive. Well, that's what I'm saying. It was a cakewalk in that last drive. So when you add that and make it look at his numbers, it's just like it looks like he lit him up. So, yeah. Darryl Mooney, 3 catches, 88 yards, 1 touchdown. Drake London, 54 yards and the game-winning touchdown. Devontae Smith. Hey, thank you. I got him in my fantasy. 7 catches, 76 yards, 1 touchdown. That was pretty much it for them. They traded for Dotson, and he's not really getting targeted at all. So I don't know if they still trying to work him into the system or they just don't have nothing for him or he's just not that good. I don't know. Your thoughts on this game?
I'm with you. I mean, I thought the play call was a good call. They could have just ran the ball, probably get the first down, game over, boom, bam. They had no timeouts, Atlanta. So, I mean, the easy outcome is just to run the ball and then hopefully get the first down. I thought the play call was excellent. I mean, motherfucking Barkley was wide open.
Oh,
I mean, he dropped the ball
wide open.
I don't think that was a bad play call. I just think it was an unfortunate drop by Barkley, who has had a hell of a 2 weeks with the Eagles. I don't really know what else to say. I know the Eagles are down AJ Brown, and I did see the stat. I don't really watch him very much, but Colin Cowherd was talking about the Eagles. And when they don't have AJ Brown, Jalen Hurts suffers. Like, he struggles a lot. Yeah. Going by stat, but when he's there, like, he's unbelievable. So it's crazy how much when one guy is out on the offensive on offense in general, he struggles.
It tells you how good AJ is, because AJ did it with worse quarterbacks in Tennessee. So. Right,
exactly. So I think they missed not having him, and it's going to affect him because I believe he might be out another game or two. So as long as they got Barkley and they continue to run the ball, I think the Eagles will be fine. They got a tough game against the Saints, though.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's going to be tough for Philly. Definitely this week against New Orleans.
And it's in New Orleans, so.
Yeah, it'll be tough.
That's it for week 2. Let's get to these power rankings. And then, we going to predict week 3.
Let's do it.
That is power rankings for week 2. We don't have week 1 power rankings up on the screen because we're using a different software right now, so it didn't save. But I know we had the Cowboys, Eagles, Detroit, and the Chiefs, and I believe the Dolphins. We just had them in different orders. Those were the teams. I believe I went first last week, I think. Did I? Yeah, I did go first last week.
All right, I can go first. That's not a problem to me. Let's see here. You know what? I don't really do this very often, but I'm gonna put them in there. I'm gonna put the New Orleans Saints at number 5.
Wow.
It's hard not to put them in there because they're playing so good. Dominant win against Carolina. Dominant win against the Dallas Cowboys. It'd be a for sure test for them against the Eagles on Sunday, but I'm gonna have them at number 5. Number 4. I'm gonna put the Buffalo Bills. I'm gonna put the Buffalo Bills at number 4. I thought they played pretty damn well against the Miami Dolphins. They look like they got something going there with Cook. So I'm gonna go with the Bills at number 4. Call me biased. Well, I'm gonna go Tampa at number 3. I'm gonna go Tampa. I'm gonna go Tampa at number 3. Tampa Bay Buccaneers number 3. Now, obviously, that can change if they lose to the Broncos this Sunday. I'll drop them out tremendously down. But I'm gonna go Tampa at number 3. I think they've looked good both games. The defense is there. Let's see if they continue. They do have some rough matches coming up. They play the Eagles, they play the Saints, they play the Falcons coming up. So we'll see how that defense holds against those offenses. But right now, number 3 is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Number 2. Man, number two. I'm gonna go Kansas City. I think Kansas City has won games by an inch. They haven't looked dominant like they have been on offense. Travis Kelce seems to be non-existent.
Thanks, Taylor Swift.
In the first 2 games, and now they lose Pacheco. I think right now they are number 2 on my list. Number 1, Houston Texans. The Houston Texans right now, to me, look like the best team in the NFL.
Yeah, there it is. Top 5 for Tony. Saints, Bills, Bucks, Chiefs, Texans, in that order. Man.
This one's tough.
It is. Because, I mean, you can easily make a case for the Vikings, Chargers, and Steelers.
You know what? I did forget about the good old Vikings. I did forget about them.
I mean, Seahawks 2-0, but I don't believe them. I don't believe in the Vikings right now. I said that earlier. I think mine is going to look a little similar to yours, honestly. But I'm putting the Bucks at 5.
Woo! I'll take it.
I put the Bucks at 5. It's kind of hard. I just don't believe in the Vikings. I really want to like sneak them in here for beating the 49ers, but I just can't right now. Which one was more impressive? What the Bills did or what the Saints did? I mean, both dominated good teams. I think Miami is better than Dallas, so I'm gonna put the Saints at 4 and the Bills at 3. If I can type it out. Number 2, I'm agreeing with you. The Chiefs are barely winning, man. I normally have them number 1 until they lose, but I agree. Chiefs, number 2, number 1, got to be the Texans.
Yeah.
Just because, like I said earlier, they don't have any weakness. Seattle is not top. Yeah, I can't. I thought about Seattle, but I can't put them in there right now because they barely won a game. The Chargers, though, the Chargers could possibly be 5. Like they could possibly be because they've been looking pretty well. And then we got a big game. So one of these teams, speaking of the Vikings, they got a big game against the Texans this week. So let's get into that. These are our power rankings right here. I'll make them bigger so everybody can see them. What do you say? Coming from Seattle fan, they don't deserve a spot. Chargers play Carolina. That's why I didn't put the Chargers.
Yeah, Chargers. Yeah, for sure.
But at the same time, the Saints destroyed Carolina week 1 too, and I still got them. You know, who did the Chargers beat week 1? I can't remember.
Raiders. And
the Raiders just beat the Ravens. And so you see what I'm saying? Like you can make a case for them. So, but yeah, they go to power rankings right there. Let's get into week 3 of the NFL predictions. And let's start it off with tonight's game that is in action right now. First quarter is 0-0, so we still can pick this game right now.
All right.
Patriots at the Jets. Both teams are 1-1.
I'm going to go Jets. I think the Jets win.
I'm going to take the Jets as well in this game. Giants at Cleveland.
Cleveland.
Cleveland is favored by 6.5.
Yeah, Cleveland for sure.
I got Cleveland as well. 1-1 Packers taking on the 0-2 Titans in Tennessee. Tennessee is favored by 2.5. The Jets just scored.
Oh, they just scored.
Touchdown Jets.
Revenge game for Malik Willis against his old team. I'm gonna go Green Bay.
I'm going for. I got the Titans. Titans get their first win. Both teams will be 1-2. Chicago versus the Colts in Indianapolis. Colts favored by 1.5.
I'm gonna go Chicago, man. I think Chicago wins this game. I just don't trust the Colts right now. Their offense looks bad. Other than the game against Houston, they've gone silent. And Pittman's not. I'm gonna go Chicago.
I got Chicago as well. Aaron Rodgers is 8 of 9, 63 yards, 1 touchdown right now.
Damn. Who'd he throw a touchdown to?
Lazard.
Man, that seems to be his.
That's his guy from Green Bay. So
yeah.
You said the Bears. I got the Bears too. So Chicago will win that game. Texans 2-0 go to Minnesota and take on the 2-0 Vikings. Houston is favored by 2.
A lot of deep down, I want to go Minnesota, but I'm gonna go the Texans.
I got Houston as well. I don't believe in Minnesota just yet. Eagles 1-1 take on the Saints in New Orleans. Saints favored by 2.5.
Philly. I'm gonna go Philly.
Saints. I'm going. So yeah, we're gonna be watching this game. Dang, Jay Cross said Saints by 50. Come on now. You gotta have some type of faith in your team. They not that bad. They just Kellen Moore. I tried to tell you, but hey. Chargers at the Steelers. Both teams are 2-0. We about to find out who's somewhat legit between these two.
I'm gonna go Chargers, just because they have a better offense. I know that defense on Steelers is pretty good, but I'm gonna go Chargers.
I got Pittsburgh at home. They're favored by 1.5. Got Pittsburgh. 0-2 Broncos taking on your 2-0 Buccaneers and Tampa.
Bucks.
Tampa is favored by 6.5.
Bucks, no doubt.
Yeah, Tampa wins.
Rookie
that.
quarterback. Yeah, I'm going Tampa.
Tampa should win that easily, but I am hoping for a good Josh Reynolds game.
Sheesh.
Panther, huh?
He might. They're gonna have to probably end up throwing the ball eventually, so you might get it.
I'm not starting him, so it doesn't matter. I I don't trust to start him versus Tampa, even though they secondary is kind of banged up right now. I still don't trust them. 0-2 Panthers take on the Raiders. I got the Raiders on.
Raiders.
They're in Vegas. Raiders favored by 5. I got Vegas. Dolphins at the Seahawks. Seattle is favored by 4.
I'm gonna go Seattle. I mean, I don't trust Skylar Thompson, man. I'm gonna go Seattle.
Yeah. Unfortunately, yes.
In Seattle too. Yeah, I'm going Seattle.
I'm gonna go with Seattle as well. Whew, Lord, here we go. Ravens flock. My Ravens flock versus the Cowboys. Baltimore is favored by 1.
Baltimore. They're desperate, man. I'm going Baltimore.
Until Dallas can show me they can stop the run, I gotta go with the Ravens too. Either way, win or lose, this game is a Dak Prescott game in so many ways. You're going up against Lamar Jackson, the guy who I think robbed you of your MVP. Y'all know I love Lamar, but Lamar robbed you of your MVP last year. You should have won out over Lamar. Now you got a chance to go head up with him, show him that you the better quarterback. You're going up against the number 1 rushing defense, and your run game ain't that great right now in Dallas. So most likely you're going to have to throw the ball regardless. And then you're going up against the last ranked passing defense. So you're going to have to light it up, and you're going to have to get other people involved outside of CeeDee Lamb. This is a game that Dak Prescott, win or lose, needs to show something. He needs to drop his nuts, and he needs to say, I'm the man out here on this field.
Yeah.
You just got paid. You're going up against the guy that robbed you from your MVP last year. You're going up against the number one rushing defense, which means you're going to have to pass the ball. Your defense can't stop the run, and it's Lamar and Derrick Henry. And then they have the worst passing defense in the league. You gotta ball out, Dak. You gotta ball out this game. Just straight, simple as that. I don't even know how else to say it. You have to win or lose. Dak Prescott has to ball out this game. I think the Ravens will win this game. They are the more desperate team. And until the Cowboys can show me they can stop the run, I can't pick them versus the Ravens. I'm sorry. So Dak, get other people involved. You and CD need to go ball out. Show why y'all just got paid. Brandon Cooks, he needs to get involved. Brandon Cooks get ghost on good teams. He needs to get involved. This is a game to do it on, right? I don't know if Ferguson's going to play or not. They haven't confirmed it from what I've seen. But Jalen Tolbert, he had a decent game last game. Get him involved again. Let's see if he can become a legit number 3. So this is a Dak Prescott game. He needs to drop his nuts in this game, no matter if they win or lose. But I got the Ravens. Ooh, 49ers at the Rams.
Niners all the way. Even if they're down 5 players on offense, I still think they'll beat the Rams.
Yeah, I got the 49ers as well. Their fans are gonna be deep in LA. They're favored by 6.5.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, if the Rams beat the 49ers, I'm going to laugh so hard. I can't wait the next week if that happens. The Lions 1-1 taking on the 1-1 Cardinals. Ooh, sleeper game here.
That's a sneaky good game there. I'm gonna go Lions. I think they bounce back against the Cardinals, but I would not be surprised if the Cardinals win.
Detroit is favored by 3 in Arizona. I got Arizona.
Ooh, okay.
I got Arizona in that one. This is gonna be a good one too. Chiefs at the Falcons.
I'm hoping for the Chiefs.
Falcons kind of riding the high right now. That's tough, man. This is their first game on the road too, right? The Chiefs,
Atlanta or Chiefs? I think it.
yeah, it's Chiefs' first game on the road because their first 2 games was in Kansas City.
I'm going Chiefs.
That's the Sunday night game too. Ooh, Atlanta's gonna be lit. Who's their quarterback? Kirk Cousins. I'm gonna take Atlanta in the upset.
Ooh, okay.
Just because you went with the Chiefs, I'll take Atlanta in the upset. Jags at the Bills.
Bills.
Yeah. Bills all day. We got 2 games on Monday. Jags at the Bills, and then oh my God, the 2 worst games you could have too. Commanders at the Bengals.
Bengals all the way.
It should be Bengals, right? It should be. And there you go. There's our week 3 predictions. Week 2 recap. Appreciate y'all joining on Twitch and Twitter. Thank y'all. I'm sorry, not Twitter. Twitch and YouTube. Appreciate y'all as joining. I know the YouTube comments wouldn't pop up either because we're on Streamlabs. I have to set all that up because we're probably going to end up using Streamlabs until OBS get it together. Because I think you switched to Streamlabs too, right?
I did.
Yeah,
no
so
problem.
OBS has just taken up way too much juice on the computer since the last update. I don't know why, but Streamlabs it is, man. Anything you want to shout out before we get off the stream?
No, that's it, y'all. Thanks for having me. It's always fun doing these football streams. We'll be back next Thursday as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking forward to chit chatting with all of you. Hopefully, no technical difficulties before the stream starts.
We'll be on time.
It was fun. I really enjoyed talking football. It's always fun. And,
yes, sir.
Looking forward to next Thursday.
Bow, and make sure you follow Get the Tables, ladies and gentlemen. They do Friday nights wrestling, Monday nights wrestling, Wednesday night AEW. Oh, that's what I meant to ask you before we leave. Let's go from sports to sports entertainments. The last month, let's just go from All In to now. How are you liking the booking in AEW?
I like some of the things that they're doing. I'm not a huge fan of the hot shotting of Ricochet and Osprey. They're doing it on free TV.
It's a lot of hot shotting going on right now.
Yeah, but I'm not a big fan of that. But again, I get it. It's their 5-year anniversary, but we'll see. I would definitely like to see where they go with some of these things. And again, I'm not a big. I think it's right now. It's like 50-50 on what they're doing in booking on AEW. Honestly,
They have to absolutely stop doing all out, all in, Grand Slam, and yada yada. In 2 weeks apart, they gotta stop this run because it goes from great booking for All In to Swerve. Let's get Swerve and Hangman. That made sense because that was a story year bill. So I get that one. That was great. But Danielson, you get a bag. First of all, nobody cared about the Jungle Boy match. But the story afterwards was great. You get a BCC turn on you. Bet we like, okay, now we cooking with something here. John Moxley tried to kill you in the ring, bro. You put a bag over your head. We haven't seen Danielson since. Darby is the #1 contender, and they tell Darby basically, or Brian's not cleared, so he can't wrestle you at Grand Slam. But here comes Nigel McGuinness. It's like, I'm gonna just call him out. F you. I'm gonna get off the commentary and call you out. They don't really have enough time to go through their history of why Nigel is really calling this man out. You get a 2-minute video on Collision, and then they finally did it on another 2-minute package last night. But that's not enough to show people why Danielson and Nigel have this beef. Like, they did a lot in Ring of Honor. So Redbeard was good. So you get that, and then you still haven't seen Brian. And if I'm Brian, bro, somebody just tried to kill me in the ring. Why would I skip over there and come fight you for the time?
Yeah, that didn't make sense to me, honestly.
Yeah.
You have it to where he can't face Darby because of what happened, but yet he's gonna face Nigel if he's cleared.
Right.
I don't like that. Like you said, a lot of this stuff with we got Chris Statlander returning. They're doing nothing with her. Britt Baker has her match with Mercedes. She hasn't been seen since or heard of. So it's like, I don't understand some of the booking stuff they got going on.
They need to space it out.
Yeah, they do. It's just they rush things a lot. In my opinion, on AEW, they don't really try to build a story. They just try to get to the match itself.
Mm-hmm.
They carry themselves off the matches and not the storytelling.
Yeah,
it's okay. I guess it's working in some aspects, but again, they're losing ratings, they're losing attendance. So something is in AEW is not going right or not clicking with the fans.
Yeah,
which I don't understand, but we'll see.
So we'll see what happens there. But I just want to get your opinion on that because I'm like, they hot shotting a lot. Like Ricochet, I understand you gotta sell tickets for your anniversary. I get it, but it's like, man, he just got there, right?
Yeah.
And then
the funny thing was, like, the whole thing was, the whole backstage stuff with Osprey was, you need to build up your wins.
Right.
Once you build up your wins, then I'll give you this title shot. He has 3 wins. He's only been there for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So you want him to automatically get it just was definitely a hot shot because it's the 5-year anniversary of Dynamite. I get it. It's not what I would prefer, but I understand.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I don't mind the match. It's just, I mean,
because how many times do you think in this time frame, this 2024, we're going to see this match?
I don't know. Hopefully that's what makes me nervous. I hope they don't just do that match just to do it and then they move on. That's my fear about this match is, okay, you're doing it quick. What's going to happen when it's done? Are you going to keep it going kind of like what Swerve and Hangman did year round, where they just kind of they interacting and then they do their own thing, but they still interacting in the middle of doing their own thing till it all comes to head again, like 6 to 9 months later? Or we just gonna, hey, here's the match, they did they flips, everybody went holy shit, and then that's it.
Yeah.
Like, cause they got Osprey teaming with I can't think of his name right now. What's the guy's name that he's teaming with? Mine just went blank.
Oh, Fletcher, Kyle Fletcher.
Yeah, so they got a thing going on too. And then you got him and Takeshita still kind of beefing in the ring, like so. You know they gotta do that storyline to where he eventually turns on the Callis family. So it's a lot. You know, it's yeah. It's just since they got everything back to back to back, it's like they just throwing stuff together, man. Like and the ticket sales are not doing great right now. Like
No,
you
they're
go
not.
from 22,000 at Arthur Ashe to 5,000 right now.
Bruh.
Like what? That you know how bad that stadium is gonna look with 5,000 people? That's a big stadium.
No, it's definitely
5,000 don't fill an
not-
arena.
when you each year you have your show there and the decreases in the attendance. It's not good. It's not
Yeah, so man, hopefully they can get it together, man. It's just, yeah, it's not looking good. But appreciate everybody for joining YouTube, Twitch. Thank you to Tony for Get the Tables. Make sure you
Always,
follow
man.
him.
Yeah.
And then until next time, we will start on time next week. I'm gonna make sure I restart Streamlabs before we go live, even if it don't. I'm gonna just restart it just cause.
That seemed to be the issue. It looked like.
Yeah.
Once you restarted, we were good.
So appreciate everybody, man. Much love to y'all. Until next time, we are out.
Later.